Have you ever driven over a highway bridge and couldn't help but look below? Or stood on a shoreline's rocky ridge just to watch the water flow? And count yourself as one of the few with a different set of dreams, the kind that keeps you up at night, 'cause you can't wait to get to that stream. It's more than a river. It's more than the water flowing or where it's going. It's the grip on the paddle and the shit in the saddle, the V in the boulders and the lean in the shoulders. When you reach for the eddy, it doesn't get better than this. Yes, it's more, so much more than a river.
Hey everybody, welcome. This is our last episode for the 2 times a week live conversations with Cross Currents Leadership. We've been doing this twice a week since New Year's and have had the best time with so many wonderful speakers, bringing you those golden nuggets of information from leaders across paddle sports and outdoor recreation to help you level up what you're doing in paddle sports in 2026. So that doesn't mean it's the last episode forever. It means it's the last time we're going to go 2 times a week. We're hitting the busy season, y'all. So it's time to get on the water. It's time to get off the computer and out into the world. So we're going to switch it up a little bit. We're going to switch to go into more like twice a month, and it's going to be great. But that means you got to make sure that you sign up on our Substack so that you don't miss out on anything, that you don't want to miss the great content. So make sure you're signing up so you get the email updates as we make this transition into the busy season. Now, with that in mind, I could not possibly wrap up this 2 times a week series without bringing in Roland.d.McDevitt. You guys, I am so excited to have Roland as my guest tonight. Roland and I partner on an awful lot of projects over the course of the year, but he serves us nationally in a volunteer capacity. Thank you, Roland. But he's serving as the Paddle Sports Safety Division Chief for the U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary across the whole country. And this is just an incredible battalion, so to speak, of paddle sports volunteers helping us all over the country. So, Roland, thank you so much for making time. I can't wait to hear what the Coast Guard Auxiliary has been up to.
Well, thank you for having me.
So let's talk a little bit, because I know a lot of folks haven't crossed paths with the auxiliary. So let's talk a little bit about sort of what is the mission and the role, where are they located? What do they do?
Yep. So the Coast Guard Auxiliary is about 21,000 volunteers. There's 42,000 active duty Coast Guard, 21,000 volunteers. We're all over the country. We're in Hawaii, Alaska, you name it. And our primary mission is recreational boating safety. So the Coast Guard goes out and rescues people. We try to keep them from having to rescue people. So it's things like boater education. And, historically it's been focused on power boats. But it's really recreational boating education, and in kind of broad terms. That doesn't mean a class necessarily, but there's a lot of ways that we can impact boaters.
Sure, absolutely. And I know you and your team within the Coast Guard Auxiliary is really focused on paddle sports.
Absolutely.
So first let's put that in perspective. I know on the Coast Guard statistics, the powerboat fatalities are at a 30-year low.
Yep.
But the paddle sports, and particularly the paddle sports fatalities among entry-level boaters with fewer than 100 hours experience, that's where we're seeing the trouble spot. That's where the growth is happening.
Yep.
So how does that translate into what you're working on?
So you're basically hitting the nail on the head. The paddle sports fatalities between 2014 and 2024 were up 38%. Everything else, all the other forms of boating were down 20%. And so we have a rapidly growing participation in paddle sports. It's about 1 million new paddlers a year. And there's about 40% of the population of boaters are paddlers. And unfortunately, they don't even think of themselves as boaters. So they don't realize that they're subject to the rules of the road,
Right.
that they should be wearing life jackets. They're not on a pool toy when they go out in paddlecraft. And they don't get education, the way that
Right.
boaters do. There's mandatory education for power boaters.
So what does that mean in terms of the outreach that the auxiliary is doing at the local level?
So we do classes. So we've been teaching public education classes for a number of years now, and we're starting to do some new curriculum that's been developed with the ACA. We can get into that later, but we also do vessel exams. So we see that as an opportunity to talk to paddlers. So it's not just do you have good deck lines and do you have a good hull on your boat, but we'd like to talk with them about where do you paddle and do you pay attention to the weather and the water temperature, and do you wear your life jacket, most importantly. So we've got there's a lot of things that you think about with safety, but clearly number one is wearing a life jacket. And we've tried to identify what we think are the key messages and really try to communicate those every time we talk to paddlers.
Absolutely. Well, and I know you guys are doing a phenomenal job of it. Now, let's talk about sort of some of the ways that you train your folks, because you're organized. You have the pro and the con. It's a double-edged sword of being affiliated with the U.S. military, but also a volunteer organization.
Yeah.
So that you're organized both in local flotillas and nationally.
Yeah.
So that gives you the benefits of national resources, but the challenges of local organization. So how does that manifest? How do you all operate at the local level?
We do have a little bit of bureaucracy, both on what we call the gold side, which is the Coast Guard, and then on the silver side, which is the volunteer auxiliary. There's 16 different auxiliary districts around the country. And for a number of years, the program was concentrated primarily in the Mid-Atlantic region. And it has really taken some work to make it a national program. But we now have representatives in all those 16 districts. And we have what we call Paddlecraft coordinators at each district. We have monthly meetings. We try to share our messaging with them. When people are starting up the program in the district, we try to make sure that they're not reinventing the wheel, that we've done it before. Let's share resources. Let's get together every month and talk about how we can support each other.
Well, I have watched over the last few years as you all have rolled this thing out and grown more sophisticated, and it's been just a beautiful thing to watch. You guys are doing an incredible job. One of the programs that you and I are both particularly involved in that I think offers kind of a shining showcase for some of the training that you're doing is the spring training that's coming up. Do you want to tell folks a little bit about that, just as an example of some of the work y'all are doing?
So this is really exciting from a number of perspectives. We are meeting at James Island County Park, which is in Charleston. The Charleston area is an amazing set of paddling venues, everything from the harbor to the ocean to the rivers to a lake in the park. So if we want to be protected and really just start off at square one, we can do that. We're going to have some Sea Scouts who are Scouts of America coming in to give us some practice on teaching with young people. We have 5 different instructional tracks. And it started off just for auxiliarists, but we've opened it up this year so that we're inviting representatives from the states. So we've got a number of states that have state park rangers coming, boating law administrators, We have some of the very top instructor trainer and instructor trainer educators from the American Canoe Association. And we're just getting a lot of good engagement, both kind of at the volunteer level. And then some of these folks that do it for a living, and the park and the Charleston County Parks has just been amazing. So we have, for those people that don't have all the kayaks and gear that they need, they make that available to us.
Right.
And it's just been a great experience. We did this there last year. We even had the Coast Guard come out with some simulated search and rescue evolutions with us in Charleston Harbor. So and that's another challenge is the active duty Coast Guard. They don't know very much about paddlecraft. You know,
Right.
they don't get much practice working with paddlers, and you know, it's an incident report if somebody falls in the water. Paddlers, that's what we do. You know, we're in the water all the time, so they benefit from this as well.
Well, you know, I went ahead and put in the show notes the link to the website for this event. And, you know, this is just one example of many kinds of trainings that you all do, but it is sort of a showcase. And I think this website is nice because it puts, you know, articles and photos of some of the work that you've done, kind of all in one place where people can see it. And we've also linked your Facebook page so that we want folks to be able to connect with and follow the work that you're doing. I mean, I have been honored to be a volunteer helping you with some of the public affairs elements of this so that we can help tell the story about what happens during this kind of training. And you're right. We've got some of the top instructor trainers and instructors from all of, you know, well, mostly from the East Coast, but, you know, national recognition for their skills and services. And the work that the Coast Guard auxiliary leaders are doing to support them is equally impressive, you know, in terms of being able to bring representatives from our local communities all over the country to come get this training.
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't mention Kayaking 101, which was where I met you. You were heading that program with the American Canoe Association. And that has just been a tremendous success. Here in North Carolina, we've got 13 sites. During National Safe Boating Week, we offer free, well, $15, almost free instruction. We basically cover the insurance and a little bit more to cover administrative costs. But that has just been a wonderful opportunity, not only to share knowledge with novice paddlers, but for us to get to know some of the local liveries and state parks people and ACA instructors. So I think it's so important for us to be working across organizations. And
yeah, this is our 5th year partnering on that event. And this year we're going to be in 8 states, 41 classes in one day to kick off National Safe Boating Week. And man, being able to partner with the Coast Guard Auxiliary to help pull that off really makes a difference in having that volunteer base. So thank you for everything that your team is doing to support that. How could people, I mean, if folks are, you know, avid paddlers and community leaders, and they want to get more involved and they think this Coast Guard auxiliary thing sounds interesting, how can they get engaged?
Well, if you know auxiliaries in your local community, sadly, most of them probably don't know very much about paddlecraft. So I would be more than happy to talk to anybody that is interested if they want to get into the paddlecraft side of things.
Mm-hmm.
The state ACA directors in those states where we're partnering, I think, are good contact people. But I'd be happy to talk to anybody that wants to reach out. My email is roland.d.mcdevitt@gmail.com. So I think my name's on the screen. It's a pretty easy email to remember.
Well, and I put your Coast Guard auxiliary email in the show notes. So if people are watching the recording, it's right there linked for you. So you can, Roland was gracious enough to allow us to put it in there so that you can reach out to him. It's just such a robust program and has so many wonderful facets and wonderful leaders that are doing great things, both at the local and regional level, but also at the national level. So I think no matter what level folks want to get involved, there's an opportunity. So I would encourage folks to reach out to Roland.
And as you know, I mean, some of the volunteers that are just super important are not even paddlers. They might be photographers or people that are doing administrative work behind the scenes. I mean, there's so many ways that you can support the program that there's pretty much a spot for everybody. That's
right. That's right. Well, thank you for making time with us again, for doing this and putting the word out there. Everybody, I want to thank all of you for your ongoing support for the work that we're doing here at Cross Currents Leadership. Make sure you sign up for those email updates on Substack. I don't want you to miss out on any of the good information as we go forward. But let's go forth and let's go enjoy this spring weather and get on the water and have some great programming. And I will talk to everybody soon. Good night.
Good night.